But what other ones are there? There's
the, what is it, Waterfox?
No, that is it.
Is that one?
Does that one still exist?
Is it?
I don't know.
What's the privacy one?
Firefox, Dan. It's
no,
Firefox.
No,
you say it right.
Yes. I agree with you. I meant the one that is promoting itself as that.
You're right. I think it is Waterfox.
I don't know. I don't use it. Like, I'm good with just plain old Firefox. We're good. We're friends still.
Coming up in this episode, oh no! Mozilla, don't watch, and a few high notes. Welcome to Linux User Space. I'm Leo.
And I'm Dan.
And Dan, oh gnome.
No, gnome. Oh, gnome, not this thing. Well, it's not. It's a gnome extension. It's not exactly gnome,
right?
So, but it's gnome adjacent,
right?
So.
And yeah, so you're welcome, gnome. We're not going to bring up anything bad about you today. But yeah, gnome adjacency doesn't get you much leeway, I guess. And we're going to talk about a lot of a lack of leeway today. But
yeah, we have a couple of topics that fall into that category.
But my question is, why?
I question that too. Yeah, why?
Okay, why? What? Okay, we're talking about the latest thing that happened in the Dash to Panel GNOME extension community. So Charles Gagnon has been working on Dash to Panel for quite a while now. Took the reins over from Jason DeRose a while ago. And recently, and on this show we have talked about many times payer developers, right? Yeah. It's something that I think is central to software development. You can't really get around it. So, I mean, if you can.
Yeah, I mean, find a way to support if you can. Yeah.
Right. Pay what you can, if you can. Charles Gagnon took it one step further and dropped an update a little while ago that added and by the way, Dash to Panel is something that takes your GNOME panel, like, so when you hit the super key, it pops up there on the left, and you can, add stuff to it or whatever. It's your normal launcher, but it's kind of hidden behind, the actual GNOME interface.
Yeah.
And Dash to Panel takes that sidebar and then slaps it down on the bottom so that you have a full-on panel. You have a menu that you can pop up. You can do a lot of customization to it. You've got the traditional, like, Windows 7-y, Windows 10-y kind of icons down there that you can click on. Yeah. And you can certainly...
Like, that's where your app indicators would go if you have that extension as well. Like, all that stuff is down there.
Right, because I know we have quite a few non-GNOME users here, so Dash to Panel may be news to them. But a new update came out that placed a heart icon down there in the icon panel, and when you click on it, it popped up a pop-up that basically solicited donations, and you couldn't close it for 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
You had to experience it. You had to live it for 20 seconds.
And maybe 20 seconds is a long time. I don't know. It's not an eternity, though.
Right. And then when you close it, it never comes back up again, but the icon stays down there. And you are able, with a little salt and pepper, you can get rid of the icon too. So, Dan, what's your take on this? And tell me why you think it's the worst idea ever.
I don't know if it was the worst idea. I think it was actually a crafty thing. I think, unless you sometimes put that in front of people, they don't think of it. And there's a lot of other projects that do this too. We'll start right out of the gate before you even get your operating system. Elementary does this, right? It's a donate what you can. You can put in 0 and still download, Elementary.
Yep.
OS, totally fine. Or you can put in some money and say, hey, I like what you're doing. I really appreciate it. Here you go. And so it in a way, does that before you even got started. It's soliciting some donation.
Absolutely.
And
but there was as soon as that came out, or as soon as because it was out for a little while before I think the articles got written about it.
Yeah,
there were a lot of haters on that particular idea.
Seems to have simmered down now, but yes.
Well, yeah, I think I think the laser got pointed at something else after that.
Right.
And then it just kind of moves from one thing to another, because I think a lot of developers a lot of time need to say it out loud that like, hey, I like doing this. This is something that I really, really enjoy doing, but I can't do it forever and I can't do it for free.
Right.
Because I have a lot of people depending on me. A lot of people give me a lot of feedback about what needs to happen or whatever, but to get the motivation to actually do that kind of thing, maybe a small subset of you can subsidize the development for this particular tool.
Yeah, I'll just go to say, like, maybe it actually helps benefit the project even more directly than just, giving money to a developer. They have some out-of-pocket costs for all of these things, I'm sure. And so whether that's like, you're paying for GitHub runners or, some sort of hosting for your website, all of that stuff is
we
not
know
free.
that stuff firsthand. I mean, we pay
Absolutely.
for domain registration, website, podcast hosting,
all that stuff.
The Discord fanciness. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And by the way, thank you for anybody that
that
sends us a little bit of dosh to take care of all of that.
Right.
But there are certainly costs to all of that kind of thing.
That's going right back into the project when you do that.
Yeah, and we make it pretty apparent, right? Like, if you don't want to hear it, you have to skip it.
Yeah, but you can.
Right, but we don't run ads or anything like that. We just solicit for ourselves what we need to maintain. And I think a lot of times that's what these developers are doing as well.
Essentially, yeah.
Right. And so if you can imagine, this change didn't go down well.
No.
Almost immediately there was a GitHub comment or issue brought up, 2259. It was aggressive donation push. And it goes on to say, and it does kind of define it fairly well, right? It dumped an animated icon in my panel in the primary position where most used launcher normally is. There was no clear way to remove this intrusion into my workflow. The context menu item of donation options was not something that appeared to give me that option. I did then find that in donation options, there was a countdown before the option to remove the annoyance was even displayed. I do not think this is respectful of the user's time or preferences. So, okay.
Yeah, so that talks a little bit about the implementation, not so much that, people shouldn't solicit for donation. It just, maybe the way it was implemented is a little intrusive, if you will.
I think, okay, so the only thing I really actually take issue with is some of the commenters on this particular issue brought up that the heart was actually in position 1 of the panel, which meant that I don't know what the shortcut is, but there's a shortcut to launch that particular application. Well, it's bound to 1, like Control 1, or I don't know what it is, but it's bound to 1. And when you push that, instead of your first application coming up, the donation thing came up.
Right.
That breaks the entire user experience, and
it does.
I will back you up.
If there's a bug here, that's the one to pick on.
Right, exactly. And I think that right there is really what the issue should have been talking about. Right? Like, this is a technical thing that, hey,
correct.
That's in the wrong spot. Please move that. Like, but that's what the issue should have been. Like, there shouldn't have been paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs about telling me.
Yeah, the original complaint wasn't too far off of that.
Right.
But, boy, some of these other comments, they say don't read the comments, right?
I always read the comments. It's my downfall.
Some of the other ones here are wowzers. Yeah, they light right into it. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So please understand that the thing that we read off was probably the nicest thing that was
Exactly.
set. You can go read them if you want. I don't recommend it, but
we got a link to the GitHub issue, and we'll put it in the show notes.
yeah, it'll be there. Spelunk at your own peril. And so yes, that right there, sure, that is an issue. I don't think that was really necessarily meant. And if you dig into those comments, you're going to find out that Charles
Turns out
Gagnon,
it wasn't intended.
Yeah, Charles Gagnon gave it the old whoopsie and gave it a change. I think it was within a day or two of that particular thing being brought up. Cool, easy fix. We fixed that.
He fixed it quickly.
Yeah. And then we got into the debate of whether it was 20 seconds. Is that too much or too little or at all, or donations at all? Should you be soliciting them this way?
Yeah.
I don't think that outside of breaking the user experience, right, like this, right, I don't really think there's a wrong way to ask for donations, right? So outside of breaking do not pop up in the middle of my thing 8 times while I'm using it or whatever. Once a month, sure.
Right.
Once every couple of weeks, also pretty cool.
Maybe when you launch it for the first time, that's
right,
fine.
Exactly. And I'm channeling like WinRAR. You remember every time you opened it up, it was like, hey,
over there. Yeah.
You could keep using this for forever or whatever, but you could also buy an entire license. And I mean,
never get bugged again.
Even that was okay with me because I'm sitting in front of free and open source software, which is developed by real people using their real time and real effort and real knowledge and real skill in putting all of this stuff together. It is, to me, sometimes when I look deep down into that Pandora's box, it is magic. The way that a lot of these developers can put stuff together and it work. I mean, I look into it and it's like, oh, this is all spaghetti to me. But the fact that I can do that I can download
I can pick out a function or two, but probably not the whole program.
Right, exactly. And you're telling me that I can download this and I can use this for free into perpetuity. Just
yeah. Well, part of that license that you didn't read actually tells you that you kind of do have to accept it as is.
Right. And that, I think, is kind of the crux of where I'm going, right? Like, this software is given to you as is. You don't really get, outside of suggesting, not demanding, but outside of suggesting that maybe this thing could be changed, maybe this thing could be done a little bit better, maybe, just...
Yeah, and if something broke, you say, hey, look, I mean, it worked before, it's not working now, this broke, can you help? I mean,
right.
That's fine.
That's about as far as you can take it. But as far as I am concerned, where I'm sitting, that software is what it is. And if you don't like it, you can fork it. And I think it was 3 comments down, by the way, in the GitHub
obviously
thing.
That's happened with this particular project before.
Right.
That's not the first time, right?
Oh, that's right. We went through the whole entire thing of it where it was dash to dock. And then Ubuntu took that and made it into their dash to dock, but then it was it was forked into dash to panel, which was originally started in the Zorin project, Zorn OS.
Right.
And then from that particular fork was created this dash to panel, which is now the one that I think everybody tends to use.
And it's changed to maintainers.
Right. Yeah. So Jason DeRose was the original forker. And then it was handed off to the current guy, Charles. Well, not the current guy anymore. We're almost there. Charles Gagnon, who is the one that implemented the particular change. But
so some changes have happened here,
right? And so when I say like, you do whatever you want to with it. If you don't like it, you can change it. 3rd comment down, the code to change it. If you want, if it is truly that important to you, someone even did the work for you for free. You could just take that.
You just patch it in and you're done.
Right. Recompile your own and bingo bango, you got yourself workable the way that it used to be. And again, I think that's for the impatient folks. because as you come to find out, you start digging a little further, you find out that Charles was like, whoops, well, okay.
I didn't mean that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, I don't use the hotkey thing. So I'm sorry, I didn't know it was broken. I'll fix that.
Exactly. And quickly reverted that thing. Eventually, Jason DeRose chimed in about the whole controversy, noting that here I've got a quote here. As the person who started this repo several years ago, and even though Charles G99 has probably put in much more total time into the project than me at this point, I feel compelled to chime in here. I feel this sort of intrusive advertising is against the spirit of the project, which led Charles to reply, that I didn't expect. I'm still enjoying working on the extension. I just can't justify to do so as much as I'd like nowadays, though the donations would help with that, but clearly I'm wrong. So yeah, I removed all the donation option and I'll be looking for replacement maintainers.
Fixed it for you, buddy.
Yeah. Job done, everybody. Problem solved. The maintainer has quit. That is, man. I don't know what it is about the internet or about free software or what that gets people so hot and bothered about changes like these that the whole entire thing snowballs into the person that's doing the thing for you. All the work, all the time, all the stuff. They slip up, do something that you perceive as wrong, and then they quit because of all of the flack that they're getting because of it. There's no real conversation.
It's demanding.
Yeah, it's demands, and I mean, again, don't read the comments, but if you do, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
It's just not good to read that kind of thing, and it always ends up in a situation like this where I don't have to take this.
Yeah,
I'm just going to pack it up and go. That's fine.
Yeah, you're the maintainer. You're just a tipping point. I mean, and if you keep doing that to these folks, you'll find it. You'll find where their tipping point is.
Yeah, and before you're like, but it was the original guy that came back and said this is against the spirit of the project. Jason DeRose did come back at the end of the conversation and say, after reading through many of the comments that followed here and elsewhere, and reconsidering my opinion, I feel that I shouldn't have put in my 2 cents here.
Here's the thing, I mean, I guess Jason, he's got a stake in the game. He's somebody that was a contributor, at least in the past,
right?
And obviously led up to where Charles took over. And so I feel like if anybody's got a say, it's someone that has contributed.
Exactly. And I think, I don't think what Jason said was necessarily wrong or over the top or anything like that.
I don't think either one of them were,
But what I think Jason came to realize was that his comments, in addition to all of the anger, all of the vitriol, all of the yelling, didn't help things and may very well have pushed Charles over the edge to make the decision to quit the entire thing, right? So in context, which is the entire point of all of this, right? Like, suggesting that something can be changed is always encouraged with open source software, unless explicitly told at the top of the thing, I don't want your whatever. But this is not one of those times.
Right. I mean, that's how software works. It's open to change.
Right.
It's iterative.
But reading the room, taking the time to understand what's going on around you really, really makes the difference when it comes to human interaction.
Here's the real kicker, Leo. Do you actually need this? This is a necessity you must have?
Right.
If you don't like it, don't use it.
Well, the thing
you don't like what's on TV, change the channel.
Yeah.
You don't like what's on the radio, turn the knob.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The one thing that got me was, I forget where it was, but there was a specific comment that was like, this is mission critical for me. How dare you make this change? This is really, adding on time, making my life worse, and just, and it's like, really? You don't stage your updates? If in mission,
there's that, yeah.
Like if it is truly mission critical to you, why wouldn't you be? I mean, at the very least, take a backup that you can roll back to. But I mean, it does. I don't know that.
Well, I gotta ask. I mean, it's just a GNOME extension. Like, what about this makes it mission critical for you?
Yeah,
that like regular GNOME can't do, like launch your programs.
Well, I think it's a lot. I mean? It's a lot of the hotkey jazz that I guess you get muscle memory on or whatever. But
I suppose,
right?
Is it mission critical? Like you can't like function without it? Like it all of a sudden your program stopped launching?
Yeah, but and I think that's really kind of what it boils down to, right? Like, I think you can work around it.
Yeah, at the very least. Annoyance? You got me on that one. And is it inconvenient? Possibly.
Right.
Does it add time? Sure. But that doesn't mean it's broken.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. But I think we harp on this every now and then, and we're going to keep on harping on it. But
I think we have to.
Yeah, you be nice to people. I think that
constructive. If you want to give criticism, make it constructive, not woe is me, I guess.
Yeah.
While that may happen, it doesn't add any good context to allow people to fix the actual issues, right?
Yep. I think that's the important part of it, right? Like if you're going to give feedback, make sure it's constructive, and leave the emotion out of it, because that adding emotion to a technical problem is never, ever going to help. Like, I know that you're panicking, but
right.
Let's solve the problem that caused the panic. Let's not Band-Aid the panic.
Right,
because
right.
The panic is a symptom of a problem, but work the problem out. And when you do that, I think you're forced to be nice. You have to. Because when you leave the emotion out of it, there's no room to name call, to be over the top, to be angry, to be any of that. You just got the facts, man. And you're just dealing with fixing a problem.
Yeah, and I just pretend you're Joe Friday, I guess.
I don't know who Joe Friday is. Who's Joe Friday?
Oh, you gotta watch Dragnet.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. I actually did grow up watching Dragnet, but so Joe's one of the cops.
Yeah, he's like, just the facts, ma'am.
He's the one with the slick black hair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I know exactly who that is. All right. Never mind. I do know who Joe Friday is. I just didn't know his name.
So just take the right approach and get right to the facts.
That's right.
Stick to that.
That's
the way
right.
to be.
So if you didn't know, I don't know, maybe you are watching it on YouTube right now, but if you didn't know, we're actually on YouTube too, sure. We come in through the old ear holes through Apple Podcasts and Google Nope, they killed that.
Spotify?
Spotify.
YouTube Music, I guess. You can do podcasts on YouTube Music.
We got the regular old plain RSS feed that you can shove into anything. So we don't even have to be a podcast player if you don't want it to be. So we have all of that, but we are on the YouTubes. So if you're watching on the YouTubes, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. But also, if you're using one of the fancy apps like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or something like that, hey, throw the rating in there, man. I don't want to tell you. I don't know. I don't want to tell you what rating to give us. I'm not your dad, but you could give us a good one. That'd be cool. But for everything else, there's also Tilvids. So our
edutainment.
That's right. Our recent Snapified episode of Linux User Space did see the Snap history pop up over there. So if you're into the edutainment scene, if you just want the entertaining, educational, historical stuff, that's where that's all going to be.
Absolutely.
And there's all kinds of good stuff over on TillVids too anyway, and you can get to it through any PeerTube instance. You don't have to be part of TillVids. They don't pull in anything else, but they do federate out. So from any PeerTube instance, you can watch anything on TillVids. But we also post it.
Yeah, and that's just an RSS feed too, so you can watch that pretty much anywhere as well.
Exactly. And you don't even have to watch it on TillVids. We post that out in some of the social media stuff, so you can just click play and then watch it from wherever you are. But just like Charles Gagnon, though it is not an unskippable 20 seconds, there is that button on the podcast catcher thing. We too also maybe to also get solicit donations.
We like your support. Yeah. We'll try not to put a big giant heart in front of our face or anything. But,
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now.
But, if it is there, you can just, know we like you and you can like us and give us $1 or $2.
Yeah, that heart is for you. Right? Yeah. But
all 20 seconds worth.
That's right. So it's not just a donation either, by the way. You're actually paying for stuff.
You do get stuff back.
That's right. The dollar gets all the announcements, and well, I guess anybody gets the announcements. But the dollar will get you a Lemmy account if you want to have the cool @lemmy.linuxuserspace.show handle instead of Lemmy World, Lemmy ML, whenever you want to go sign up over there. You can sign up with us with that.
Or if you like Discord, you can jump into the patron space on our Discord server too.
I forget about all that too, and I'm actually updating that more often. I'm getting good, getting there.
Yeah, we're there. We do engagement.
That's right. So yeah, you get access to a really cool secret channel in Discord that nobody knows about except you. And then $3 will get you the show before it releases, as well as a high quality version of the show. And then $5 and $10. $5 will get you the show before the show in your ears.
Yes.
And $10 will get you the show before the show for your eyes. So the audio version and the video version of the pre-show and the post-show.
You'll get the whole thing, the stuff that we cut and everything. Yeah, you'll get it all.
That's right. Oh, and your name in the credits. Like no matter who you are, no matter what tier you subscribe to. $1 or more, get your name in the credits that I may or may not remember to put right here, right now, and just roll them again because for fun.
I mean, for sure volume, like if you're in the $3 and up, you end up in the show notes. Okay, time for Mozilla Don't Watch.
Oh boy.
More vitriol on the internet.
Yeah, I did not want this show to become a show about whining about whiners, but man, is that not what it turned into?
I think we can end on a positive note. We just haven't got there yet. We got to get through the tough parts.
Yeah, stick around long enough, and we'll talk about good stuff. But you know what? The funny thing about this is it actually was a good thing because they kind of had to. So
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Rewind the clock a little bit. Late February, Mozilla announced that they were going to issue a terms of use for Mozilla Firefox. And
basically, it was an update on the terms of use that existed.
Yeah, that we didn't call them terms of use at the time.
We didn't. Nope, we didn't.
And now it's something that you do have to click through, right, to use Firefox. Would have been will still be probably in June, July kind of time.
It hasn't happened yet, though.
Right. Right. But that did not stop the plethora, the cornucopia, the multiple video series of oh my God, the sky is falling. Mozilla is now one of the bad guys type videos that immediately, and I mean within 24 hours.
I was going to say within hours, boy, did everyone react.
Yeah, I wanted to give some of the more reactionary ones a little benefit of the doubt, so I said within 24, but you're right. It was very fast.
Like, I don't even know that this like, so the proposal obviously is version controlled, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't even know that it had been merged yet. I think it was still a proposal and still in work in progress phase.
Right.
When people came unhinged.
Right. So there were a couple of things that kind of happened in succession. One was the announcement of the TOU, and then the other was what I think Dan's talking about too, is the Firefox sell your personal data blurb in the privacy notice was removed.
Yeah, because they're updating both of those at the same time for the same reasons.
Because they're linked. Right. So, okay. So let's set the scene. Here's what's going on, right? So the terms of use, the proposed terms of use were issued, and there was a clause in it that gave rights and permissions to Firefox. And it basically said that Firefox will have a non-exclusive, royalty-free worldwide license for the purpose of doing as you request. And it's still written this way. I think it has gone through a couple of different iterations, but it still really says the same thing, which is we have a license to be able to do what you want us to do on the internet. And these types of things are legal documents. So they have to read a lot of times like legal documents. And there's not really a whole lot of wiggle room for
unfortunately, no.
A lot of that stuff. So when people see that kind of thing, right? Like they're having a license to my data. They have royalty free. It's worldwide. They can do whatever they want. I think the initial reaction to that was flying off the handle. Oh my God, Mozilla's taking rights over everything that I post and do and click on and whatever, and all my actions and everything else. They're probably feeding it into an AI. Oh my God, what are they going to do? They're going to basically just steal my likeness and do anything that they want to forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah, they're scraping my keys.
Yeah, that if you watch the videos that are posted within 24 hours of this announcement,
those early ones,
that's pretty much what they say. But Dan, before the show, we were talking about this. Like, it is either for you, it is very much your job, and for me, it is next to my job. I do it a lot. We read a lot of this stuff a lot of times. Now, we are not lawyers, right? Well, this is not legal advice, but we read these things all of the time.
I read a lot of them. And I got to say, even with the changes proposed that haven't quite stuck yet, although there probably will be at this point, it's still pretty tame.
Yes.
Compared to a lot of things out there that you probably didn't bother to read.
Right.
This is pretty mild, gotta say.
Okay, so that was strike one in this new battle against Mozilla, and in the strike two was the follow on, the knock on, the inevitable. Okay, so there was a question in the privacy policy that asked, "Does Firefox sell your personal data?" And the answer used to be, "Nope, never have, never will, and we protect you from many other advertisers who do. Firefox products are designed to protect your privacy. That's a promise." And after the change, it's just gone.
It doesn't say that the opposite. It just doesn't say anything, right? I mean, I that's the takeaway, though, right? I mean, it doesn't say that we will absolutely, sell your stuff,
which would be in the privacy policy. Like if they were planning on doing that,
it just doesn't say anything.
Exactly, right? So, and to both Dan and my eyes, I think we both agree on this, is that you just couldn't legally say that anymore, because the whole reason that Mozilla is doing this, as they stated, was because the EU and in California there are new laws. Well, not new in the EU, but newer in California that just bind them to this newer definition of what selling actually means. And so again, outside of removing that particular clause, there's nothing in the privacy policy that I saw that changed. So Mozilla is, in effect, doing nothing different whatsoever. And I think that was my main takeaway, right? Like in the TOU announcement, it was, we have this license. This is what we're going to be doing with your data, all this kind of thing. If you have any, if you want further information about that. Go see the privacy policy. And so what did I do? Well, I clicked on through to the privacy policy, and I'm like, okay, buddy, here, you better tell me what's going on. And nothing. Besides,
nothing to see.
Besides, again, the legal requirement to remove that clause because they can no longer legally say that because the laws have changed. Nothing. And so I'm like, oh, cool, right, great. No problem here. Nothing changed. Great.
Essentially, that's the long and short. I mean, if you wanted to skip over this whole segment, nothing changed.
Yeah, the TLDR is business as usual. But
yeah, pretty much, right?
But again, the problem is that there have been so many people that have seen this particular thing, flew off the handle with assumption.
Yeah.
With assumption about what things could or couldn't mean. This is not, again, as Dan said, this is not even in effect yet.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yet, we're flying off the handle. And instead of, as we were talking about in the previous conversation about the donation thing, if there were a rational discussion, if there were a human-to-human discussion, because remember, there's still living, breathing, blood-pumping people out there writing the blog post that you don't agree with.
Yep.
If we could have a good discussion about these kinds of things, I don't think anybody would leave the table with a misunderstanding. You may not agree with it. You may walk away still not happy with the outcome. But if you have the actual conversation and get down to the actual information, I don't think you would at least be making your decisions flying off the handle based off of real, actual evidence and information.
Right. Yeah, and to the early adopters of the rage wagon, I feel like you went into that a little uninformed, and the fact that it actually wasn't, it was still a work in progress. They were still tweaking it, and it had not been merged. Until something gets merged in, like, just let them sort it out, like in a civil manner, right?
Yeah, a couple days later,
there were some more tweaks to it after that, for sure.
Right, exactly. So on February 28th, they went in and actually changed the non-exclusive royalty-free. They kind of tweaked that language a little bit to be a little more clear, but it still says the same thing. It still reads like legalese. I mean, it still says non-exclusive, royalty-free, worldwide license. Like, nothing of real substance changed in the terms of use in the legal document. And I mean, I don't think that made anybody happy. I don't think anybody is happy now after these changes. I think a lot of the people that flew off the handle in the first place still have that same opinion. I don't think we're gonna change their minds either.
We're probably not. That's fine.
But I do think that it was too much, too fast. People making a lot of assumptions too much, too fast.
Yeah.
But I will say, Mozilla did go on. They gave you a little TLDR on the update, and it says
they did.
in plain English. And I'll give this one to you, people that flew off the handle. I'll give you after I read this, I'll tell you what I'm going to grant you. So Mozilla doesn't sell data about you in the way that most people think about selling data, and we don't buy data about you. We changed our language because some jurisdictions define sell more broadly than most people would usually understand that word. Firefox has built-in privacy and security features plus options that let you fine-tune your data settings. And this was kind of just after they made the change to the non-exclusive royalty, blah, 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 that they added on the communication that kind of made that clear. Here's what I'm going to say about this. Mozilla's really bad about communicating their intentions.
Their press is not. their public relations isn't great.
What I really do think they need to move some
money. If they need
to
beef anything up, that's it there.
That's the one. Because man, every time I look at the work that they're doing, the stuff that they're working on, the motivations that they have, it's good people doing good work, helping other people like me for free get everything out of the internet that I want. And you know, and I don't have to pay them a dime. I don't have to do
Yep.
anything other than just go to the website and click download and then have, in my opinion, the best internet experience I could possibly have. Firefox is the thing that provides that for me. And a little bit of legalese is not going to scare me away from
No.
the best thing that's
No.
happened to the internet since what? 1997. Netscape, man. I don't think the mission has changed much since then.
Well, here's where I wanted to go with this, and since you kind of teed it up for me, you know, obviously you can't slip any of this stuff past the FOSS crowd. They're
right.
They're paying attention really close, but a lot of people jump ship. They said they cast off Firefox, right? Real quick. But I gotta ask, what is better? What else out there can you switch to that is better?
Blue Firefox?
Is it though?
Yeah.
Because I gotta ask, aren't you still supporting Firefox to some extent?
Only kind of.
But you are.
Well,
like if Firefox doesn't exist, neither is those other things.
Now,
the WaterFox and all the other ones that are derivative thereof.
Right,
like,
right.
If they dry up and go away, like there goes progress on those things. I can guarantee it.
Right. Yeah. There's not.
No one's putting the time and the energy into the engine.
Yeah, one of the single forks that is working off of the Firefox base is going to be able to actually hold up the Firefox base for more than a few days before before the duct tape starts flying off, and Firefox just really becomes something that is truly well and truly history.
Right. And so then the other alternative is to go to a Chromium-based thing? Well,
no.
hello, we're, pretty much supporting Google at that point.
Yeah.
And if you think Mozilla is bad, hello. Like, let's look at Google. They are an advertising company.
Yeah.
Their intention is to make money off of you. You are the product.
I would hope that the people abandoning Firefox for not a Firefox fork have the good sense to go with something like Vivaldi, because
you could do that,
because at the very least, you're not directly supporting Google, and you're still getting some security and privacy out of the deal.
You probably get more than most. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think you're doing a detriment to the web by maining a Chromium.
Yep.
Just simply because Chromium will be the web standard. The web standard will no longer be open and free and changeable by the masses. Yeah. It is now the Chromium standard. If Chromium does it well, then there's nothing else we have to worry about. And that means your servos go away. The new I say new, it's been around for a while, but the other browser engine that
the other things, yeah.
That isn't Chromium, that isn't Gecko behind Firefox. It's the only other one besides Safari, which...
Yeah, that's not relevant.
Yeah, anybody...
That's terrible.
Yeah, anybody that's super worried about their privacy and security is probably not chomping at the bit to go and use Safari. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you want something functional.
Yeah. Safari's pretty good, man. But yeah,
there's a lot of broken stuff with Safari though too.
Yeah, it's not perfect. But so again, Firefox is not perfect, right? I still hear it all the time.
It's not, but it's far less problematic.
Yeah.
Than Safari.
Oh yeah. Oh, talking about problematic. Yeah, absolutely. Firefox is the only choice if you want to be.
It's the only alternative choice.
I think so. I really, really do.
So we're right back to where we started.
Only kinda. So the problem, I think, that people that are moving to forks of Firefox are going to be very, very disappointed about. Every browser that exists, FOSS, non-FOSS, free, whatever, it's soon going to need one of these things. It's going to need a TOU, a terms of use. They're all going to have one. And they're all going to be written in legalese. As they start attracting people, more users, more people, more whatever, regulators are going to take notice. And regulators are going to be like, hey, you need a terms of use. You have to define that. If you want to be used in the EU, if you want to be used in California, which does affect the entire US, you're going to need a terms of use. Will projects like Florp take the Mozilla terms of use, or are they going to write their own? And when they write their own, are the regulators going to be happy with it? And if the regulators aren't happy with it, it's not going to fly. Right. And when they do, when they write a terms of use that does fly with the regulators, is this same fervor that everybody has conjured up for Mozilla, is this same fervor going to show up for Florp? Is this same fervor going to show up for WaterFox? Is the same fervor going to show up for every fork of Firefox that will be forced to have one of these things?
I hope so.
I mean,
if you're going to do it for one, you got to do it for all of them.
Yeah, if we're being honest with ourselves, if we're playing this game correctly, then yes, Florp is going to see the same type of backlash, and there's nothing that they're really going to be able to do about it because
you got to have
they have to. Or, I mean, just don't be used in these. What are you going to do, right? Like, I guess.
Well, I mean, so like, I guess you could strip all the stuff out of it that makes you have to do that. I mean, and then you're down to links.
There you. Well, right. Exactly. Actually, you're right.
You know what I mean? You're down to something that's not usable.
You can't search in the browser. You can't type a URL in the browser. You can't do anything.
You certainly can't sync your stuff. Like, oh no,
exactly,
because there's data that's going up to a cloud server someplace.
The only reason Firefox has to have these terms of use is because your data, the stuff that you write, that you click on, that you do, that you see, that you read, whatever, passes through the browser. And because of that, they have to tell you what they're going to do with this stuff. And the terms of use is exactly the definition of what they're going to do. And the privacy policy that Firefox has is exactly the way that they're going to use it. And I have not seen any evidence of the sky's falling people, what they're saying. I've not seen any evidence that any of that stuff is actually true.
Yeah, well, and I just want to point out that these are all the features and things that we said, we all bonded together to say we want Firefox and Mozilla to be adding these things to the browser. We want them working on the browser. We want better search things. We want all this stuff. This is all the stuff that we told them to do. Oh, and they went and did it.
Yeah.
And now they're getting flack for it.
That's right. We got the vertical tabs now, which is awesome.
Yeah, you got to go into the About config and turn it on that way.
No, you don't.
No, they finally added it?
Yeah. So if you right-click in any of the blank space up there by like where your tabs are, or in between the little refresh button or whatever, you right-click it or whatever, and it says, turn on vertical tabs. That's it. Nice. And then bingo, boop, right over there. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Right. So, yeah, man.
Okay, so like I said, these are all the things. You know what else? They just announced that they're working on again, progressive web app stuff.
Oh, I mean, I can hear it now. It's about that, and you're right.
They had it once and they took it away, and but I guess better to take it away than have something that didn't work right.
Yeah, I think that was the entire reason they got rid of it, because it was broken.
Yep. It wasn't working right. So I mean, they're bringing it back. It's working. Yay.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see more features, more faster in Mozilla's future, or in Firefox's future, which is great for the give it to me now people. But yeah, I don't think this terms of use, I don't think any of this stuff is going to change anything.
I don't think it amounts to anything.
Nope. So Mozilla still has my trust. I'm still going to be using Firefox as my number one. And I'm good. We're good. We're golden, man.
And as homework, just go read some other terms of use things. Get your heebie-jeebies out of some other project.
That's right. But I will say, Mozilla really does have to get better.
They do need better press.
At communicating the things that they're doing. Because when you strip it back, all of this terms of use, all of the privacy policy, all of the non-features that are actually in the works, we just don't know about them, right? Because no one's there communicating. No one's being the advocate for Firefox community facing, right? Like
they talk about, making the web better and like you read all the blog posts, they're good stuff, but they don't talk about technical things, generally speaking.
Right.
Anywhere. They don't have a great place to discuss the technical stuff.
Yeah. So when you strip it all away, I've come up with only one good criticism out of all of this, and it's So just better words then.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely. That's what we got.
Don't actually change anything of substance. Just tell it to us different. And like that's
Maybe
the
beforehand.
answer. Yeah. But
Better words a little beforehand.
there you go. We've solved it for you, Mozilla. I will let you guys know our banking information, and we can get that.
Yeah, you can add us, and we'll let you know where to send the checks.
Hey, if we ever did have some kind of weird ad sponsor person, Mozilla would be a cool one to have.
They probably want us to pay them.
Yeah, you're probably right. Honestly, I might.
I mean, there's always donations.
So catch these and other great topics as they unfold on Lemmy, our subreddit, our news channel, Discord, Mastodon, Telegram, Matrix, Twitch, and Twitter, and Blue Sky, and all of the things.
All of them.
All of the things. There's all the things. Go find us on the internet. We are there, probably. Send us feedback.
We like that. We got some of that coming up.
Let us know. That's right. We're coming up to some feedback. And yeah, just tell us what you think about all this, especially these past two things, because
they're hot topics.
Privacy policy stuff, we love to hate on that stuff, and paying our developers, that really does kind of draw a line, make a bit of a rift between a lot of the people. It's more like free as in beer and free as in spirit and all's free as in whatever, free whatever. But
yeah.
But I'd like to know, right? Am I wrong about all of this? I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm pretty good. I feel like I have a good, solid foothold on.
I like to think we balance things. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, we kind of are a counterbalance to a lot of what I've seen on the internet over the past couple of weeks, specifically about the Firefox topic and more recently about the dash to panel topic. I don't know. I don't know. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But also,
we should shout into the internet.
Yeah. But also, am I right? I don't know. Let me know. Let us know. On all those places, whatever your place is, whatever your favorite place is, we're probably there. So poke at us over there. Let us know, wrong, right, or you just want to see something show up on the show. You got an idea for the history or something like that. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll pluck them out, and as you'll see here in a minute, we got a bunch.
Like I said, if it's fun, we'll keep doing it.
All right. First up in the feedback, we got Mark from Saigon.
Ooh.
Thank you for listening all the way from over there.
It's got to be morning over there by now.
I don't know. Good thing we don't do this live, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Mark says, "Hi, gents. Gotta try this out, obviously." He's talking about the anonymous ish thing, on the Fireside, the contact.
Yeah,
page.
You don't have to put your name in there, but you can, and we will read out your name.
And so interesting episode again about mostly snaps and all. My 2 cents on that, of course, I've tried them, and they were actually pretty good.
You don't say.
I mean, I weird. I wanted to give an all snap desktop a try, but at the time, it was mostly A, availability of specific programs, and B, styling. Sometimes they absolutely didn't follow themes, a bit Qt-like. So speed was obviously mostly already solved, and the auto update feature is great. Interesting about Ubuntu Desktop is that the OS is actually a snap as well, much like container files of Universal Blue. Not for everyone, but certainly something to try out when it's there. All the best, keep rocking, and greetings from Saigon, Mark. Mark has a PS here, and I'm looking at you, Leo.
We get this question from time to time, and
he says, "Where can I get a shirt like Dan's, or did I miss the merch button?"
You didn't miss the merch button. There isn't a merch button. No. So this question comes up every now and then, And it would be way easier than like me buying stuff and then sending it out to people. Because if anybody has ever had a conversation with me, they know I can do that. I just have not done that. So it's okay. So the problem with that particular thing, and I'll get back into the Ubuntu thing because that's actually what I want to talk about. But the problem with this is that once we do that, we're like a real big boy company.
We're a business then.
Right. Right now, it's just like,
it's a loose association.
Right. I mean, we could take the money and then pay taxes on the money and then spend all the money on the things, which is, generally how these things go. But once you start adding in like business add-ons or whatever, we're a real big boy thing. And I don't know. I don't know that I see. I don't know what I see Linux user space as. Maybe it is a real big boy thing. Maybe we should be a real big boy podcast and actually do all of the real big boy enterprisey and things and show up at shows and.
Well, I think that would be good stuff to do. I wouldn't mind doing some of that, but I'm often reminded that time is somewhat limited.
That's it, right? And yeah, I think that's the real big limiting factor, right? I think that's my big hang up with doing it is that once it's a big boy thing, then it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And not that it would become less fun or anything like that, but then there's just more responsibility as well. So
I think you'll see something like merch happen though.
Yes.
So don't shy away. I think
right.
I think we'll get there eventually.
Okay, so Mark, you tell me. Or anybody else that is like, ooh, where do I get a shirt? Ooh, where do I get stickers? If I were to flip the switch on Patreon, there's a way in Patreon that Patreon will do it all. They'll drop ship it. They'll do the whole thing. They'll advertise it, whatever. They handle all of it. If I flip the switch over there and give them all of our art to make merch with, the way that they do it is that you can't buy it outright. You have to subscribe at a certain tier for 3 months, and then automatically they will send you one of whatever it is that we define on that tier, right?
Yeah, depending on the tier, yeah.
And my thought was always like, well, I would just make a tier for that thing, and then the subscription would just add up to the total cost of the thing. And, like I'm not trying to make money off of this. I want to get you the merch, but...
That's a break even, right?
Right.
Yeah, so like the $1 tier, after 3 months, you get a sticker or something like that.
Something like that,
something
right?
small, and then maybe the $5 tier up gets a hat or a shirt or something.
As long as we can cover costs, plus I don't know, maybe $1. Like if we're gonna make any money off of it or whatever, it'll be very minimal.
Just enough to
So, would that be something that you're interested in? Because that is something that I could do that wouldn't really add.
Well, that's one mechanism.
Right.
There are obviously other vendors. Like here we get into this thing too, is shipping. And Saigon is probably not an easy place to ship to.
Well,
and I don't know what vendors ship there either.
And that's one of the really good things about Patreon or whatever is that they're global. They have a distribution network. Right. They can do that.
And a lot of them do, but there are limitations to everything, I would think.
Yeah. There certainly are, right? But would that be something that you're interested in? Because it's something that I've been just real close to doing multiple times, but I don't want to do it and put in all the effort and then nobody gets anything or anything like that.
Right.
So I guess I'll answer your question with a question. Would that be something that you would be interested in doing? I guess the way you think about it is like it's a 3 payments of $9.99 and then we'll send you your thing. I don't know, but if it is, if it's not, either way, let me know. And anybody else listening that may or may not consider merch in the future, is that something that you'd be interested in? If so, if there's a sizable feedback, I mean, I'll go flip the switch. I'll give them all the art. We'll get all the things.
Operators are standing by.
Yep, that's it. So you got to let us know. Let us know what you think. To the Ubuntu stuff, though.
Yeah.
the styling thing. So that was one of your hangups on it, right? So availability of specific programs. There's really nothing that you can do other than encourage nicely, maybe even with dollars, someone to look at adding their thing to the Snap store.
Snap,
but the styling thing, and I think this is just because I grew up using like Windows 95 where nothing looked great. I mean, the Windows applications did look like Windows, but everything else was, we never knew for sure if that was going to actually fit in. And then I threw it all away because there was a program called Window Blinds that just made everything look awesome. Like you can make it look like anything you wanted. Yeah, the styling thing never really gave me much pause because...
Well, I'm just gonna jump in here with some technical points. They have made some improvements in those, and the way they did that was by adding snaps that have follow theme things.
Right.
So like if you're Yaru, you're probably well supported. I mean, there's a lot of those things that are supported there.
Yeah.
If you're some offshoot of something, well, it might not exist well. Just it's kind of the way it is. But there's been a lot of additions there, and I think there's been some improvement. So it's one of those things you got to just keep trying and see if you can get your particular thing themed the way you want it there.
Yep. And I too am very interested in the all snap Ubuntu. I really want to try that out because like you mentioned, in the same vein of Universal Blue, it's just something that seems a little more unbreakable to me, and I like that kind of thing. Like sometimes I do want to tinker with the OS, but then sometimes I just want to put it. I want to flop it on something and just never think about it again outside of updating it whenever I feel like.
Well, and if the apps in the background are just updating on their own, that's kind of nice too.
Yeah, just do it for me on a reboot, man. I'm already rebooting the thing, so whatever.
Which is pretty much how Universal Blue works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everything's staged, and then you reboot, and boom, you're into the new one.
That's it.
Okay, next up is Scott from Fireside. He says, "Guys, your show about snaps was really interesting. I very rarely use snaps on the desktop. I tend to go with Appimages or Flatpaks when needed, but often use them on my Debian server. I find it very useful. Yeah, this is cool. I find it very useful to keep up with up-to-date terminal applications like Hugo, U2, DLP, FFmpeg, and otherwise, stable Debian server. I feel that's an aspect that's often missed, their use as terminal apps." And we did kind of mention that a little bit with Nextcloud because that's one of our favorites.
Yeah, that's how you configure it all and everything. But you're right.
Right.
Yes, you're exactly right. That's something that Flatpak and Appimage just cannot do. You cannot
terminal stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that right there was the winning play by Canonical, by Ubuntu, the Snap group. Was
mostly because they're targeting towards enterprise users, and a lot of them are just running server things.
Right. I mean, the whole idea was Snappy Ubuntu Core. You were supposed to put it on little tiny machines, and it was supposed to be IoT.
Appliance.
So I think, there
are a bunch of appliance snaps.
Right. And there's nothing else that I'm aware of outside of wrenching up Docker to do it. That's going to give you the same type of functionality. Outside of maybe Homebrew, I guess, but setting that up on all your IoT stuff is going to be a nightmare. So, snaps have really kind of cornered the market on terminal applications. I think you're exactly right, and the fact that they stay up to date, especially with something like YTDLP, which very quickly goes out of date. Like once it stops working, it needs to be immediately updated, or it will continue to be broken. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What a fantastic point.
And I love that he's doing it on Debian. And Debian is one of the places that people flee to get away from snaps. And here we are adding them back in. So that's cool.
Can't argue with that, man.
No, I like it.
But that is, yes, systemd, but Debian uses systemd. It's kind of a testament to, snaps do work anywhere that systemd works.
It's true.
That's almost everything. Almost.
There's a few exceptions, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
So really, really good point. I mean, yeah, that's something I don't think we talked about enough when we were kind of recanting all of our, or going through all of our ideas of how it all went. Yeah. Terminal usage is just something that nothing else can really do.
So Dan on Matrix says, regarding snap versus Flatpak use, I tend to not use snaps if I can, simply because I feel the Flatpaks perform much better and is supported by more systems. The last real snap I voluntarily used was also the Nextcloud. Yeah, was also the Nextcloud snap, but it's a few years ago. On my work Ubuntu box, I primarily use Flatpaks and debs. On my private machines, my priority is repo package, AUR package, self-made package build, pre-built binary, Flatpak, app image, snap, and one-off self-compiled.
Yeah, that's that last one.
That's pretty far down the list, but they're still in there. They're not out.
On okay, so follow-up question then, Dan. If you so you say voluntarily, which leads me to believe that you may or may not be using the Firefox / Chromium snap. And if you
can get around it if you have to, but I mean, it's kind of there.
Right.
By default, it's there.
Right. And the way that I got around it was I stole the tarball from the website and just slapped it in SRV or something like that, and it works just fine. So
you can throw it in opt bin.
Yeah, that actually, opt is where I put it. And the cool thing about that is that the internal auto update mechanism actually
works.
So it works just like Windows and it works just like Mac, which is fantastic. And I prefer it that way. But so you say voluntarily use.
So I was actually using the beta one that way.
Oh, cool.
So that I had both. Like I had the regular snap and I had the beta one. Running that way, so I could test out the new stuff before it happened.
Very cool. Well, I'm a Universal Blue fanboy, as you can tell.
Yeah, well,
there's Bazite going on back here right now.
Nice.
And that essentially puts me squarely into Flatpak and homebrew territory. So, and I like it that way. I mean,
I'm fine with it too.
I don't long for snaps because homebrew kind of fills that void.
Yeah, it's not bad
for me. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, Void's one of the ones you can't get snap on.
Yeah. I like if I'm using an Ubuntu or Lubuntu or one of the flavor, images, I got no problem using the snaps. Like even the Firefox one, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah. They work well enough now that I don't really have any complaints, and honestly, I don't notice that I'm using them half the time.
But yeah, like if I was using something else and snap wasn't there, I wouldn't go out of my way to add it, probably.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. Yeah. Good way to word that. Is that Christ? Christ.
Christ? I'm going to go with Christ.
Christ.
Traced? Traced.
We have butchered it. I am sorry. But you.
I don't use snaps. I run Void Linux, which doesn't use systemd. Here we go, Leo.
See?
Segue right into this.
I knew it.
It doesn't use systemd as the init system. That must be the biggest flaw with snaps, that it relies on systemd. So I use repos, Flatpaks, and compile if needed. Well, that's fair. Like I get it. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't work if you don't have systemd because things, reasons. So. Great episode, and do we think we will see a working snap without systemd in the future? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's just a little too tightly integrated into some of the inner workings, especially the snap daemon. I'm not sure that would work right, without the systemd unit file stuff.
Right. Well, not only that, I think it's tied into a lot of the security parts of systemd as well. Yeah.
It's tied into AppArmor. It's also another thing that you got to have to AppArmor.
Yeah. So wait. So how do the Red Hats deal with that? They don't add AppArmor.
Fedora has a patched AppArmor that you can it comes with the snapd. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's why it works so well in Debian, because Debian uses AppArmor.
They do. Yeah. I mean, Debian is basically the upstream for Ubuntu, so all the stuff gets pushed there. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm with Dan. I don't think we're going to see it. I just think
it just seems like too much technical debt there to overcome.
Yeah. It's a big ask.
So BGT from Matrix says, meh. Snaps aren't really that worth it, to be honest. If there was no Flatpak, sure, but like this, there's no need. Also, why would I want my core system packages to be snaps? No, thank you. Like, if I'm on a fixed point release such as Ubuntu, I want things to be really stable. I wouldn't want core utils or Pipewire to update under me and have system instability. If I'm using Arch or whatever, what's the point?
So I think on this one, I think it would be more like the same updates that you would normally get in a regular Ubuntu, just rolled up into a snap instead.
Yeah.
So it's a little more pluggable. Not necessarily that you're on like a bleeding edge kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, especially a system like that.
So if you did want to do that, I mean, Snap does offer the different channels that you can
oh, that's
choose.
right.
And that is kind of a feature, I feel like. Like you can totally pick which train you want to get on.
That's right.
And if there's ways to pause updates and all that stuff too, if you really so choose that. I mean, so
yeah, but it's
there's
yeah,
some
again,
options.
It's not for everybody. I mean,
it's not.
Run 1604 and hop onto the Ubuntu Pro subscription for free.
Yeah, but you can run the latest Firefox with a snap. So
that's
I mean,
right.
like you got it, right? I mean, I don't know, but yeah, if you're using Arch, it doesn't make any sense, honestly.
Oh yeah.
You're there because of other reasons.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of control to be had and stuff. But
yep. So that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
MarshMan from Discord says, just listen to the latest podcast on snaps. Yes, I use snaps when necessary. There are some applications I use, such as GitKraken. Yes, I know it's proprietary. That have no easy way to install on certain distros, i.e. RHEL 9.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting. I simply cannot get caught up in all of the politics surrounding snaps versus Flatpaks versus etc., etc., etc. Nor can I get caught up in the proprietary versus open source all of the time. It's about getting the job done.
Oh, man, this is where I live.
This is the pragmatic view, and I think Leo and I are both right there.
Oh, I mean, that's squarely where we live. Because
absolutely.
You put it perfectly. It's about getting the job done. Yes.
Using the best tool that you can, right? And so sometimes that is proprietary things.
Yeah.
And Snap's a good delivery for that.
Yeah. I absolutely do look at the open source option first for everything that I do. And we were talking about whether or not to talk about GIMP 3 earlier, and that's another one of those ones that have I looked at Affinity and their photo editing lineup? Absolutely. But have I stuck with GIMP because it is an open sourcey option that also just works? Absolutely. And have I been rewarded because of it? Yes, because GIMP 3 comes with non-destructive editing, and now I get all of the perks, well, one of the big perks of the big boy editors that we haven't had in GIMP for at all, ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it never really affected me a whole heck of a lot. But again, it's just pragmatism, right? Like GIMP has always worked for me. It's always been a pretty decent job, and now I'm just getting extra features that I didn't absolutely need, though now I look at them and I'm like, oh, that's actually really nice. So yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Oh, but the RHEL 9 thing, that's a question. Follow-up question then. It's using that patch, the AppArmor patch, to let Snap work.
If you're doing it on RHEL 9, yeah.
Yeah, GitKraken can run on a RHEL 9. So that means, just to clarify, you're using Snap on RHEL 9. Interesting.
Totally support your decision there to use the best solution for you.
That's computing. Anyway, that's the end of the feedback. So if you want to see any of this stuff, any of the links, any of the things that we talk about, all the articles, the stuff that flew by on your screen during the YouTube, whatever, go to linuxuserspace.show/ whatever episode this is. This particular episode is 510, right? 510?
509?
509. Just kidding. Don't go to 510. That's in the future. 509.
Yeah, that's for future you.
Yeah. So in 2 additional weeks, you can probably go to 510 and there'll be a show there. But yeah, so linuxuserspace.show/509, and you'll get all of the links and all of the things, timestamps and blah, 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 all of that stuff. And if you want to get in contact with us, obviously we will steal your comments straight out of Matrix and Discord and everywhere else. But if you want to be a little anonymous or you want to chuck your name in there, it doesn't matter. You can email us at contact@linuxuserspace.show, or you can anonymize yourself just a little bit at linuxuserspace.show and the contact button. Click on that, and you're able to send us an email with info.
Yeah, it shows up in our email inbox just the same. So
absolutely. So that brings us to next time?
Yes, it does.
And I'm going to say, all right. I'm going to say.
You're going to put it out there? All right.
Okay. You know what? I'm 90% sure.
Ooh.
90% sure we're going to do the history of Flatpaks next time. And then, of course, we're going to start off with a few thoughts and whatever else we can cram into the show. But the big deal is going to be, hopefully, Flatpaks. Get into the history of that, figure out where they came from, because they really did start just a little bit. Okay, I can't say that. They actually started a lot earlier, but the public side of it really started about the same time as Snaps did. I think within about a year or so.
They were close.
They were really starting to rumble about another universal type package that you could install on any distribution, which is eerily similar to what Snap was saying about all of their stuff. And like I said in the Snap episode, I think Flatpak did win the hearts and the minds of the people.
Desktop people.
Yeah, right. It can only be the desktop people that it could win the heart and the minds of, because Flatpaks don't work on the command line. Therefore, Snap.
Right. I mean, I guess or something else.
That's or whatever solution you've conjured up, homebrew or whatever, to get your command line goodies.
Just compile your stuff by hand.
I mean, hey, you know what? Slackware people exist, and you got to be able to run whatever you got to be able to run. I get it. All right, but in between shows, you can catch us on Blue Sky, Mastodon, Telegram, Matrix, Discord, whatever. Give us your suggestions on our subreddit over at our Linux user space. You can join the conversation over there. You can join the conversation on Lemmy. It's lemmy.linuxuserspace.show/c/forum. Because it's basically a forum. And I throw stuff out there periodically to talk about. Nicole, have you seen Nicole on the Lemmyverse, Dan? You know of Nicole?
Not yet. I gotta go now. I gotta go.
You have to. You have to also help me ban her from every instance that she's signing up and spamming everybody on the entire Lemmyverse right now.
Okay.
I think we may or may not be in the double digits of how many times I've banned her. From the different instances or whatever. But Nicole just keeps popping up on the old inbox and being like, hey, I want to be... No, don't accept Nicole as a friend. Nicole is a bot. Don't do that. But anyway, so that is one of the things that you can click the old spam button over on the Lemmyverse, and I can go stomp on Nicole. Sorry, Nicole. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. But... join the conversation over there. Talk to us. Give us more ideas. All the links are in the show notes at linuxuserspace.show. So go there, go to the YouTube, go to the wherever, and get involved. But in between now and the next time we sit down and do one of these things, Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me at KC2BZ at mastodon.social, and you can find me at, Monetary Abyss at Blue Sky.
I said it. Oh, thing. Man.
It's on the Blue Sky.
I just am curious. Did you ever get that DNS thing done? That text record on the...
I was a little busy the last couple of weeks. I did some travel stuff and whatnot, so I didn't even have 5 minutes.
Yeah, you got to focus on the family, but I will ask, hey,
You'll ask again. I know you will.
Yeah, I'm gonna. But if you're looking for me, you can find me at Leo Chavez at mastodon.social. I did indeed create a text record. So over at Blue Sky, you can find me at leochavez.org. And if you're looking for the show, you just want the announcements, you don't want any of the chat or any of that stuff, you can always find the show at Linux User Space at mastodon.social, and text record for them too, Blue Sky at linuxuserspace.show. So, come back in 2 weeks for more Linux User Space.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. If we wanted to do that, I would have installed.
Oh, so much easier.
Dude, Dan, we have so many
Ways.
emails in the inbox right now of these.
Our SEO is just
Dude,
plummeting.
oh my God.
It's in the tank.
These goofballs.
YouTube does not appreciate us.
Dude, these goofballs are out here using free add-ons, screenshotting the free add-on and telling us nothing more than what the free add-on is telling them. And they're like, you get with, we'll do a free consultation and we're going to get your clickbait all over on the internet. And YouTube is going to respect you now. And it's like, dude, if I cared.
I think that's how it works,
Yeah.
but okay.
If I truly cared about our SEO and our clicks on YouTube, my man, I would have gotten that add-on long ago.
There really has been an uptick though in the last couple of weeks. I'd be shocked if we didn't get if we got less than 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's not. And not just that, but from unique people.
Oh yeah.
They're persistent. They keep emailing you, and they're like,
yeah, they do.
My favorite thing is they're like, write this super specific phrase to opt out. Like, no.
I'm not writing you at all.